let freedom flow is the theme. And it's, you know, we've been talking a lot about independence and what freedom is, what freedom isn't, and that there are, what's coming to light is that there are more freedoms for some than others. And freedom's not in the sense that we all have the same opportunities, but freedom in the sense that there's not a certain bias inherent in our culture towards one group of people versus another group. One way I really like it put is when we categorize people in groups, we lose their humanity. It's when we serve the individual or notice the individual and walk in their shoes and empathize with what they're going through and really listen, that appropriate change can be made. So I'm in the middle of really reassessing and reevaluating how I show up for people. Not just in my family, but my communities and my outreach and areas that that I contact other people. From my virtues deck, I'm just going to read a little blurb from humanity. I don't think I've done this before, but it's just one of my favorite. Humanity is this attitude of caring and mercy towards all people. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's futures. We all suffer. We all rejoice. And although in the internal scheme of things, it might seem like we're insignificant or play a small role, we each are one of a kind, irreplaceable. Each of us is irreplaceable. We lose our humanity whenever we generalize about a group of people and separate ourselves from them because of external characteristics like sex or race or religion. And we do this, you know, we lump people into categories, and that is exactly the loss of humanity. We tap into our humanity when we put ourselves in others' shoes and are genuinely concerned for their welfare. So our humanity grows as we serve others, not only where it's easy to serve, but maybe where it's a little bit more difficult for us. There is no they, only us. Today, you know, as we start, let's put our hands on our heart and set an intention. As we have all felt maybe been in that position where we have felt like they, and it doesn't feel good. And maybe we've been on the other end of that where we are promoting they and us, them and we. So how can we actually make a positive turn towards the inclusion and respect for diversity? Inclusion and respect for diversity. I think on our mats we can start just by the inclusion and diversity of each of our, how we're put together. Sometimes we wish that we had thinner legs or thicker legs, or thinner waist or thicker waist, or more flexibility or less flexibility. So right here, just honoring our uniqueness as we can honor each and every other person's uniqueness. And full welcome arms. So welcome yourself on your mat. Welcome the uniqueness and diversity of your own build, and the uniqueness and diversity of the practice being put together just for you. So we'll watch that. Let's start with a little action of moving forward and back. in a cat-cow movement. As you come forward, open the arms. As you move back, let's press the hands away. Inhale, open. Exhale, press. As you exhale, inhale. Opening and exhale. So the arms are just circling. Coming out like wings and then pushing forward. Inhale and exhale. Twice more. Once more. Interlace the fingers. Press the palms forward. And then let's rise overhead. And shimmy the side body. Oh Lord, I just feel all the aches and pains and possibly the compression of the day and being in a chair for a good portion of it. So this feels really good. That's crescent to the right or left, back to center and crescent in the opposite direction. And back to center, this time crescent with one hand on the floor and one hand on the sky. So we get a little deeper and perhaps even hold. We'll take the top arm, rotate towards the floor and hold it here. So you press down through the opposite sit bone as the arm is reaching. When inhale, come back to center, arms spreading wide. Exhale up and over, crescent the other direction. So we plant the sit bones firmly, open the side body long, and decompress not only, the outside, which is easy, but the inner crescent as well. So we're not in collapse, but really open. And rotate through the waist, bring your left hand to the floor. Take another couple deep breaths. Walk the hands to center. We'll actually move them around. They come to center. Walk forward and allow yourself to go all the way into a forward flexion. Forehead coming down. Softening the tension in the face and the jaw, the neck and the shoulders. This may require a couple of deep breaths. You need to decompress. Get really involved in the breathing and being present with what is. Walk the hands back to center. To the knees. I actually walk the hands all the way around. So they're planted behind the hips, and we'll take the legs out. Shake the legs. Wiggle the feet side to side. And then start to take a rotation in the ankle. So we're pretty much upright. I'll turn to the side so you can see this. We're upright. Dandasana. Knees are bent, ankles rotating, circling. Let's go the other direction. To really feel the energy move through the whole body, especially in those occasions where we get really stuck. And bend the heels in. So we're bending the knees. Take your fingertips away from each other and plug the shoulder blades on the back for an upward table. So you plant the palms of the hands, plant the feet, push through the floor to lift the hips. Take a couple of breaths. And this upward table pose. I don't know what it would be called. Urdhva Purvottanasana or Ardha Purvottanasana. And bring the hips back to the floor. Upward table for now would be appropriate. Bring the soles of the feet together. Reach the hands through to grab the ankle. Inhale, lift through the spine. And exhale, we'll take it over in flexion again.
The forehead comes towards the feet. You get to release, again, any tension in the neck and shoulder. The idea isn't to keep the shoulders hunched up, it's to relax. Breathe deeply.
Come back to center, cross the ankles and come onto the hands and knees. So the feet go behind, hands are forward. Give a little movement through the spine. Always a little wake up. Inhale and exhale. If you have a little music playing in the background, I would suggest it be patriotic. That if that speaks to you in whatever way.
Being it's the 4th of July week.
July is our Independence Month.
And really exerting what it feels like and means to be truly free. When all are free, we are all truly free. Let's take a downward facing dog from here. And press the heels into the floor. Get long through the side body, big stretch. Some balancing will be in order today and a little more breath work. From here, walk your hands back towards your feet.
So when the hands get right underneath the nose, so a torso's length away, hold them there strongly and then push the floor away and get the hips to move back behind the heels, so all the weight's in the heels. If you'd like, you can soften the knees a little bit, and this becomes a posterior chain opening. Becomes a lot of length in the side body. And breathe in and breathe out. And bring it back to center. Now with a deeper bend in the knee, elbows to the thigh. Lift the torso just halfway, take a breath. And then roll up the rest of the way and take it easy because we're coming up from the floor and we want to make sure we don't topple over or pass out after all that. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, clasp the right wrist with the left hand and we'll crescent over to the left. So I'm mirroring you and we may just start lefties today, which would be awesome. Let's bring it back to center. Crescent over to the right. Using the seal of consciousness, thumb and pointer finger together with the hand that is not clasping the wrist. Inhale, come back to center. Take both hands to the base of the spine. And we'll make a fist and then just place the fist right here at the sacrum. Hug the elbows in, push the fist into the back side. Okay, so the hips do move forward. At the same time, we don't want the low back to move back or down. So the fist moving forward, pull the low belly back in, and that will give you the lift you need in the heart. And that will be important. So we get more of a candy cane arch or look versus being a hanger bend in the low back. So really bright, open through the heart and chest. And if you have a block, here's a little trick. You can try to bring the block right here on the chest. I'm going to cover my mic for a second. And see if you can hold it like a platform without it sliding off. Okay? So that means the heart, the chest is very elevated. Elbows coming together. And then bring it back to center. That's already a good 5 breaths. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, take a deep bend in the knee and bring the chest to the thigh. So the fingers are going to extend forward and they might be diagonally dropping towards the floor. See if you can fight that effort of gravity to pull you down, to lift the thumbs upward and biceps to your ears. So there's more contraction in the upper back. And hold it. I know this is going to feel a little more
difficult. It should. It should. So sit bones wide, broad, fingertips forward, really stretch and lengthen the spine. One more breath. Whew, and then exhale, bring the hands to the floor. Oh, oh, yes, yes, yes. Lift the hips, inhale to a flat back. And then exhale, bring the chest towards the thigh, a little deeper forward fold. Slight bend in the knees, inhale. Let's come all the way back up to standing. Palms together and hands to the heart. And we'll take that in another half sun salutation. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, drop in and down. Inhale, come all the way to standing. Push through the feet, rise up, palms together, hands to the heart. And we'll take a sun salutation A. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, right down the middle or swan dive forward. Inhale, walk your hands forward. Walking back, but you should be at the back edge of your mat. So hands walk forward now into a downward facing dog. On your next inhalation, let's come into the top of a push-up. And we've workshopped push-ups, so knees to the floor, integrate back muscles, bend the elbows and lower down about halfway, chaturanga. Then release to the floor, shoulders still lifted, elbows hugging in, into low cobra. Get that nice length in the low back and curve in the upper spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pull the belly in strong, full integration and concentration effort through the whole body. Downward facing dog. There's not just one body part that's working. There's a cohesive and cooperative effort on the part of your torso, your legs, forward, front and back, your side body, your obliques, your upper torso, front and back, the arms, the hands, full body effort. So the front body is contracted here as the back body is open. And we can step the feet forward, left foot then right. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, drop in and down. Inhale all the way to standing. Palms together, hands to heart, center. Now we're going to repeat this effort in a series A, sun salutation. I'll talk you through it this time. So I want you to either close your eyes or you can look at me, but I'm not doing it. So closing your eyes would be better. Inhale, stretch and lengthen the arms overhead. So full vessel mudra. Exhale, forward fold. You're hinging at the hip. Inhale to a flat back. Hands come to the shin. Then plant the hands and step back into a downward facing dog. It's an exhale. Inhale, come into a high plank position. Bring the knees to the floor. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we made it through that whole section, all on your own. We know the moves, right? And I can talk you through it. So we're holding downward dog for 2-3 minutes. Heels coming towards the floor, not necessarily touching. Challenge yourself with a good space between hands and feet. Yeah. And when you're ready, step right foot forward, left follows. Inhale to a half lift. So we're getting that stretch through the spine. Exhale, round it down and in. Go deeper in your Utkatasana if you can. Or if you're Uttanasana. Inhale, come all the way to standing. Top of the mat, arms come overhead, palms together. And then exhale, active stance. Very strong and tall here, Tadasana. Pull the low belly in. Bend the knees. Let's come into Utkatasana. Arms in goalpost. So we're taking a series, Surya Namaskara B. Series B. Upright, your eye gaze is level with the horizon. Sit a little bit deeper. Elbows coming forward, palms open more. Squeeze and hug the shoulder blades on the back. And if you'd like, extend the arms and sit even a wee bit deeper.
I know, so activating the quads. Use your heels to press in and activate the hamstring just a little bit. Inhale, lift the hips, exhale, forward fold. So the challenge there is playing the edge. Inhale, half lift, step back. Or we can jump 1 or 2 smooth moves, chaturanga, knees on or off the floor. Inhale into a low cobra again, or take that all the way into upward facing dog. Exhale back into a downward facing dog. So I'm giving you some options here for your sun salutation. We'll step the right foot forward. Nope, we're going left. Left foot forward. Let's go lefties today. Left foot forward, right heel to the floor. And then you're coming up into a warrior 1, first warrior. Elbows in a goalpost. Okay, so you're facing, squaring the hips forward, elbows in goalposts. If you'd like, straighten the front leg, and let's see, when you bend it again, track it right over the second and third toe. Use your outer edge of your back foot to press down and just get maybe a teeny bit deeper. Stretch the arms overhead, pull up through the low belly so we protect the low back. Well, that's your warrior 1. Bring the hands to the floor on an exhale. Step all the way back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale all the way back into downward facing dog, where we step the right foot through, back heel to the floor. Arms coming in goalposts. And by the way, no one ever said that you have to do right first and then left. So we're just switching it up. If you're used to doing right all the time, like this might mess with your mind. Straighten the front leg. Okay. Right, bend. Maybe go a little bit deeper. Stretch the arms all the way overhead. Full cooperative effort. Honor every part of the body in its full diversity. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. There's a reason why we went slow the first time. It's to get the alignment so we can go quickly the second time through. Just come up high onto the balls of the feet. Bend your knees back. In a little spring action, jump your feet forward, halfway or all the way. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, bring the chest towards the thigh. This is Uttanasana. Then bend the knees and we'll come into Utkatasana, arms overhead. And then exhale into Tadasana, where you straighten the legs. Active stance, hands to come to the heart center. On the repeat, here we go. Inhale, Utkatasana, powerful pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Plant the hands, step or jump back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Change up here, raise your left leg to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, step through, back heel to the floor. Inhale, warrior 1. Did your left leg make it? Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, chaturanga. I have to really think about it. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky. Step on through. Press your back heel down. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause in our downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. You made it, and your heart rate should be coming up, speeding up, energizing, circulating. Come up high onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees and pounce forward. Feet to hands, inhale. Extend through the spine, even bring the hands to the shin if you'd like. Exhale, round it down and in. Let's take a little tighter pull here. Full forward fold. And then bend the knees. Bring it up into Utkatasana. And exhale into Tadasana. Straighten the legs, hands to heart center. You made it. Take a breath. Coming back into Utkatasana. Deep bend in the knees, weight back in the heels. I'm gonna face you. We're gonna slice the arms to the left and bring your wrist across the thigh. So a little twist here. And then rotate, or not rotate, slide the elbow to the knee so it can bend and you can still have that connection. Pancake the hands together. So we're in a twist, head above the heart, hips below the head. So there's a deeper bend. Takes much more muscle energy for sure here than here. So you can reduce the pose with the wrist across the thigh or challenge the pose with the elbow. That's already 5 breaths. So we'll take it into a forward fold. Separate the feet, maybe just an inch or 2. Take a hold of the big toe with the first 2 fingers of each hand. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, bend the elbows and come in. Now we're taking that full forward fold and a little time here to open the hamstrings. Release any tension that's in the shoulders if you can. Breathe in, breathe out. So always come back to the anchor of the breath. The anchor of the breath can help you feel safe, can help orient you and help regulate. And then release that by coming forward with the torso. Bend the knees, release the toes. Coming back into Utkatasana. And we'll slice the arms to the right. So left wrist across the right thigh. Hold it here and give a soft pressure into the knee with the wrist. So you can actually rotate just a little bit here. If you'd like, slide the elbow down, bend at the elbow, pancake the hands together. Then we're watching that we're not doing one of these. Okay, so just pull the left sit bone back. So the knees are relatively even. They don't have to be spot on, but really anchoring the inner thighs and holding the hips solid. One more breath. You can do it. Hips below the head. And then inhale, release the hips upward, straightening the legs. Exhale, the torso downward. Ooh, head relaxing. Slide your hands underneath the feet in a gorilla pose. Or the tips of the fingers. Inhale, stretch and lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend the elbows and come in. Forehead towards the shin. Taking several deep breaths. That's already 3. Take one more deep, long breath. And then when you're ready, release the hands from underneath the feet. Bend the knees, come back up into Utkatasana. And then Tadasana, hands to heart center. Good. Let's interlace the fingers, rotate the wrist. Sometimes our wrist needs a little love, and then shake the arms out. Yeah, come to the top of the mat. You're probably there already. So this next section, we'll step the right leg back and come into a crescent. So a high crescent. So the right leg extends back, high crescent. Arms come overhead. And I'm pretty sure we did this last week, but let's repeat it because it's worth repeating. We'll crescent moon to the left. At the same time, hold the quadricep on your right leg, super strong. And press all that energy out through the back heel. Ribs in, anchor through the front glute. So you're scooping under. We're pressing into the front heel to help keep you steady. Bring it back to center. Release the arms open. Inhale, looking up. Exhale. We're going to lean forward, cross the wrist, and say the word shoo. Shoo. Inhale. Shoo. Exhale. Shoo. Inhale. Exhale. Shoo. So we're just alternating which wrist is on top. Shoo. Again. Shoo. 3 more. 2 more. Last one, coming forward. Hold steady at the top. Spin the back heel to the floor and come into warrior 2. Second warrior, arms out even and straight. Reverse it. Straighten the front leg. Inhale, bend. Again, push to the floor. Straighten the leg. Exhale, bend, go a little deeper this time, and then come back into warrior 2, side angle. So the forearm comes to the thigh, and your right arm is going to reach forward and really extend, get long. 3 breaths. That's already 2. 1 more. And as you bring it back up, straighten the leg, bring the hands overhead. Exhale, bend the front knee back into second warrior. Inhale, palms together, straight leg. Exhale, second warrior. Last time here, hold the legs straight, only the arms move down, and then shift the hips off, reach forward, and come into triangle, Trikonasana. We're going to take this on a little adventure into half moon. So you can decide what that looks like for you. I'll reduce the pose, bringing the hand to the waist, then bend the front knee, shift the weight forward onto the front leg, and I'm going to push off with the back. So the hand is on a block or the floor. When you're ready, reach the right foot in the same trajectory or same plane up towards the sky. It's in line with your sit bone. And open the hips, open the shoulders, extend the right arm to the sky. Take your gaze to the side wall or ceiling. That's already a good 3 breaths. Let's hold it for 1 more. And on breath number 5, as you exhale, bend the standing leg, reach back with the straight leg, bring your hand back and press into Trikonasana. Really smooth transition there. Pay attention when you're coming out and in poses. That's where the most harm could be done to the body, and it also takes a greater awareness. Bring the right hand down, bend the front knee into low lunge. Let the hips sink just a little bit. With the right hand on the floor, open to the side wall. Circle the left arm all the way around. Inhale, forward. Exhale, taking it back. Inhale, forward. And last time around, plant the hands, step all the way back into a plank. Bring it all the way to the floor, chaturanga. Hold here in low cobra, tops of the feet down. Peel, just the chest comes off, and then peel the hands up. So now we're supporting only solely with the back body. If we plant the hands again, and then just pull down back slightly. So I'm going to pull the elbows back and squeeze and hug them to midline with the hands on my sticky mat so they won't move. But the action is pull back, and that's going to help lift you a little higher. You definitely feel that in your tricep. So that's a medium cobra. Here's a low cobra. Hands are off. And then hands come to the mat, medium. And if you take the hands back and keep that movement, you come into a greater movement into a cobra. And go ahead and release that. Shake the hips, hands planted even with the chest. Come up onto hands and knees. And let's step into a downward facing dog with the right foot now stepping forward, coming into a high lunge or crescent lunge. Left leg is back, right leg is forward. Arms overhead with a half crescent to the right. You're going to just be so glad to know we're not doing the arm balancing today, but we will do some standing balancing. It should be a lot of fun. Back to center, release the hands open through the chest, and then exhale, cross the wrist. Inhale, open, exhale, forward. Full movement in the upper body, The lower body stays super strong, steady. So try not to get any more bend in the front knee as you take the torso forward. Let's go 3 more. 2 more. Last time. Keep the arms in the air, open into warrior 2. Second warrior, the arms come out straight, horizontal. And we reverse the warrior. Left arm down, right arm comes up, straighten the front leg, inhale. On an exhale, bend and come back into that reverse warrior. Let's try that again with a straight leg. And exhale, bend. Tilt the torso so it's vertical. And then bring it around to a side angle. Right forearm resting on the right thigh. Left arm extending up and over. For 3 breaths here. Or 4 maybe. That's already 2. On your next breath, push through the feet and bring it into warrior 2. Palms together overhead, inhale. Exhale, back into second warrior. Again, inhale, palms together overhead. Straighten front leg, exhale, second warrior. Last one. Straighten the front leg, keep it straight. Only the arms come out. And then reach into Trikonasana. So you have that stable front leg. A lot of power in the quadricep, lifting the knee cap. A lot of power with the ball of the foot, pushing the floor away to energize the calf. Now we're here. Our little adventure begins. Bring the left hand to the waist, bend your front knee and slide the back foot in, or push off, slide it in. Right hand to the floor, elevate the back leg. When you're ready, you can keep the gaze at the floor. You could also put a block here, any height. You could also bend the standing leg. Let's take a little moment to honor where you are at. It's already 3 breaths. We'll take another one. And then on your final 5th breath, bend the knee and gently step back. Bring your right hand with you. Straighten the front leg back into Trikonasana for just a moment. Then bring the left hand to the floor. Bend your front knee and we come into a low lunge. So we end up right here. I'm facing you again. Left hand to the mat. That was a long time to be away. Right arm comes up. Let's spin it mandala style towards the back wall. Inhale forward. Exhale all the way back. Inhale forward. And exhale all the way back. Let's do it one more time. Big arm circles, hand to the mat, step back. Chaturanga. Lower all the way to the floor. Coming into low cobra again. Now we know how to do this. Elbows hug in, shoulder blades on the back. We pull the hands isometrically back. We're not pushing forward and letting the elbows come wide, because that's a push-up. And this is not a push-up. It's a low cobra. It's the upper back working very hard. Lift the hands. Take them in a jet airplane. Then lift the feet off the ground and hold. Make sure the neck and shoulders are not tensed. We're in full locust pose. Energize the inner thigh. Not necessarily to touch the feet, but they're closer. You're not way out here. Keep a good tab on the inner thighs. One more breath. Lift a little higher. And exhale, release. Forehead to the mat. Shake the hips side to side. Bend the knees. Clasp both or one ankle at a time. 5 breaths in bow. We'll press the feet to the sky. Inhale, hold. Exhale. Inhale, push the feet back and straight up. Elbows are straight. We're not pulling in this way. Let your arms lengthen all the way out. So the chest gets some open energy, shoulder blades on the back. That's where you can squeeze. You can hug the inner thighs, push the feet to the sky, hold, and then come all the way down. Both legs to the earth. And shake the hips side to side. Wow, that's a lot of energy. So hands to the mat. Come back into hands and knees. So we'll keep the hips directly over the knees here. Walk the hands out forward in Anahatasana, or I just call this heart melt pose. The forehead can rest on the ground. The palms are pressing down. There's kind of an enclosed feeling and support when the forehead gets to rest on something. Deep breaths in, deep breath out. And you'll stay here still. And just start to move the fingers back and the hips back towards the heels, and we make it into child's pose. You know, the knees might have to come a little bit further apart. And once the hips rest to the heels, you can take the deep breath in, deep breath out. Nice. When you're ready, come to a downward facing dog. Palms to the mat, toes turn under, lift the hips all the way back, and walk your feet to your hands. Inhale, come up halfway. Now pause here. We have a flat back. Legs are relatively straight. We'll bring the hands to the waist and squeeze the elbows up towards the sky. Press down through the heels and lift all the way to standing. So that pressure can help you not get dizzy. If you get dizzy, finger on the forehead is definitely helpful. We'll do our little standing balance right here. Relax the hands, shoulders, and just take a deep breath. Notice if there are any spaces in the body that have stuck feeling to them. Breathe into that area. Freedom. You want flow with freedom. Let freedom flow. We do that with the breath. We do that with whole body cooperative effort through the body. And we do that with the energetic weaving of the mind, body, spirit. Shift the weight to your left leg. So we'll stand on the left leg first. Pick up the right knee and hug the knee in. We'll just rotate through the ankle here, get some rotation. And then take the knee out to the side. Bring it back to center. Bring the knee up towards the shoulder. So both hands are literally giving you a wider stretch, like a scissor through the legs. And then you're going to reduce the knee height and release the hands. And then lower the leg. We'll take that on the second side. All the weight placement is now the right leg. We lift the left knee in. Ankle rotation. Make it all the way around. And then we'll open towards the side It's like a hinge. Your hip is moving, some movement in the hip. And then bring the knee back to center, but give it a lift towards the shoulder or the armpit, which is stronger standing on the standing leg. Lift up towards the shoulder. And then reduce the height of the knee and let go. Just see if you can hold that balance. Lower the foot to the earth. Shake it out. And we're going to tree pose. So standing on the left leg, right knee comes in. Again, we'll take it out to the side and then shift the hand so it's inside the front ankle and guiding the ankle, the foot, so it connects with the opposite inner thigh. And then we have like a zipper effect of energy that lifts up through the spine, all the way through the crown of the head. Any variation you'd like to place on the hands, you could come up to the sky, out like palm trees. You could come into an eagle arm, which we'll do next. I like that. And bring hands back to the heart. We're coming out the same way we came in. So the knee comes forward. We dangle the foot and then lower all the way down. Coming in and coming out. Remember those transitions? If we're here and we just got to plop it down, we're losing the effectiveness, and it comes through the transitions. Shift the weight to the right. Left knee comes up, out to the side, and then we guide the foot to the inner thigh. You can also have the foot below the knee or the toe on the ground. You could have a hand on a wall. So if you're increasing your balance isn't quite where you want it, I would suggest using a wall and or keeping the toe on the ground and then just playing with that. Any variation to the arms? Any variation to your gaze is going to be a challenge. So if you go from the floor to the horizon or from horizon to the ceiling, definitely going to challenge your balance. Anyway, to come out, we just lift the knee back to center and then lower the foot to the earth. So take this in eagle, Garudasana. So bend the knees, coming into an Utkatasana, powerful pose. That's where we start. And then reach the arms or heart wings out, eagle wings. We'll shift all the weight into the left leg and pick up the right knee to cross it. Toe tap to the other side. So that's going to give you a little balance right there. If you have done this a million times, you want to wrap the foot around the ankle, go for it. Toe tap is a great way to start. Walk underneath the toe is also another great way to start. And then since the right leg is over, we'll bring the right arm under. So left arm comes square to the center, and then we just wrap the right arm under, palms together. Yeah, eagle. Eagle arms, eagle legs. Bring it into the nest. Elbows touching the thigh or possibly coming closer, and then inhale. Reach out of the nest. One more time. And lift up. We come out, we'll uncross the arms, uncross the legs, extend, and release. Slowly shake it out. Second side. We'll bend in the knee. All the way to the right leg now. Left leg picks up, and we cross over. Now, if you are trying to get the foot to come around a little bit, it helps to move the hips towards the side. Wrap the foot where you like it, and then bring the hips back to center. Okay? Watch that you don't torque the knee, and that you don't hold so tightly. So unwrapping the foot a little bit might be in your best interest to bring right forearm to the center and then wrap the left arm underneath. Inhale, stretch the eagle arms up. Exhale, come into the eagle's nest. Inhale, lift up. A second time, exhale. There's a challenge for you. Inhale, come back up, hold. And when you're ready, you'll unwind the arms and take the leg out. Shake it out. Hands to the side. And let's just shake the hands out. Shake the legs out. Come to the top of your mat. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, take a forward fold. From here, walk your feet back slightly and then come into a toe stand. So we'll be in the middle of the mat. The knees bend, hips come to the heels, and then we'll walk our fingers back and up on a block if you like. One hand to the heart, the second hand to the heart. Broad through the shoulders, hold steady. 2 and 1. This is really a nice, good release for the hamstring. Plant the fingers and extend one leg and the other, making sure your knees are safe. We're back in Dandasana, so we started here. Lifting through the shoulders. Lengthen out through the spine. We're going to actually take this to the floor, so shift your hips a little bit. Center of the mat, roll all the way onto your back. Bring the knees into the chest. Exhale all the air out. Give it a little shake side to side. And then plant the feet to the floor. Separated, knees and ankles the same distance, maybe 4 to 6 inches. Your elbows at your side, and let's take a bridge. So you'll lift the hips, draw the heels towards you. Strong connection onto the back body with the shoulder blades. So this is like our bow pulling pose. And if we walk the feet in a little bit and reach the arms, you could possibly stand your heels on the fingertips. And that looks exactly like bow or camel. We're just on our back in a bridge. I'm going to go ahead and release the hips back to the earth. Place the palm of the hand into the crease of the hip. We're going to push the thighs away as you straighten the arm. Breathe in and then exhale. As you breathe out, release the tension in the arms and rock the low back to the mat. We'll do that again. So an inhale is to lift the low back, push through the crease of the hip on the thighs, and then exhale and release and let the tension be on the front side of the belly. 2 more. Inhale, press, and exhale, release, low back into the mat. Last one, inhale, press the thighs away, arms are straight and strong. And then exhale, just release the tension altogether. Let's bring the feet a little bit closer. So there might be an inch between the toes. 1 inch between the toes, very narrow. Then squeeze the knees together, elbows at your side, and lift the hips. So it's going to feel different in this type of a bridge. Okay, if your feet are too wide, bring them in. If your knees are too wide, bring them in. Push down through your heels and pull the heels back. So you'll feel a lot of engagement in the inner thigh. A lot of engagement there. You're going to push the right foot into the mat, bring your left knee in,
and extend to the sky. We're just holding for 2 breaths. 2 breaths here. The leg is extended. That's already 2. Cross the ankle over the thigh. Lift the hips again, possibly a little higher. Ankle energy straight down through the heel. And then lower the hips back down. With the ankle crossed, draw your right knee towards the shoulder. And then slip the left hand through the triangle shape that we made with the legs to reach behind the hamstring or behind the knee. And gently coax the knee in. As you coax the right knee in, the left knee widens. And we get a deeper stretch through that hip. Oh, it's my favorite, one of my favorite. Sukhi Rondrasana. My favorite to say and my favorite to do. So release the leg, bring the foot back down to the earth. And then we'll drop or gently guide the knees, the feet all the way to the right. We still have a cross in the ankle. The arm on the left side coming up. You can roll the head side to side. The feeling here is releasing the low back. We did some pretty intense back bend today. We did a lot of hip stability with those standing postures. And now we want to release the hip a little bit. Great way to do it. Unwind. Let's come back to center. Just almost done. One more side. So the big toes are almost touching. Knees are touching. Push down through the heels. Lift up the hips. Back into bridge. Squeeze the inner thighs so your knees are touching. Don't be fooled by your glutes. Your glutes want to take the knees wide. Okay, that's all glute power. We want some inner thigh power right here. Then press down through the left foot. Keep it steady, strong. Right knee into the chest. And then unfold the leg. So it's pointing straight up to the sky. That's already 2 breaths. So across the ankle over the thigh, hold here. Maybe get the hips a little bit higher if they'll go. So we're pushing down, ankle into knee, knee, down through the shin into the foot. And then lower, down gently. And when your hips meet the ground, you can pick up the knee and draw it towards your left shoulder. And a gentle opening, coaxing the right knee open. Full breath in, full breath out. And release the left foot to the floor. And we'll drop the knees now over to the left. We get that same release in the low back on the other side. I like to roll the neck. I roll the head side to side so the neck can release. Feels good. And then come back to center. Make your way to Shavasana. You'll place the heels in the pocket of your mat. And give yourself a little shakedown. And when you're shake the feet. Relax all the way into the earth. Head, neck, and shoulders, hips, legs, arms, everything relax. Let yourself be still, quiet, warm, and dark for a couple minutes. Resting pose or peaceful pose, where we get to integrate
all of class. I come back to our heart center, our heart's intention. Opening up to our humanness, our making mistakes. Oh my goodness, yes. And being okay that mistakes are just a way of realizing that we can do better tomorrow. And that's all it is. So we truly begin to flow in freedom. We allow others to do the same. We liberate ourselves from the heaviness, the weighted caste system in our mind. Caste systems are very real in some cultures, and they're also very real in our own mind. We can eliminate that and question the validity of all the thoughts that go through our head. That's when we can really start to make profound changes. "30 more seconds. Let yourself truly release and receive what it needs right now. The practice of humanity looks like this. I feel a common bond with all people. Think in your own life where that is true for you. How can you expand it? I value each person as an individual. Again, think in your own life where you promote that in yourself and others. I refrain from prejudice. I feel empathy for the suffering of others. I have passion for compassion. I offer a humanitarian service. All great ways of practicing humanity. And just think of the 6 mentioned. Which ones are your strong suit? Which ones can you bring more of into your life? An individual has not started living until she can rise above the narrow confines of her individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. Martin Luther King Jr. Take a deep breath into the belly. Exhale to the fingers and toes. Movement in the wrists and ankles. And gently draw yourself into a ball, rolling to the side. You aced it, you conquered it today. Give yourself a hug of gratitude and then help yourself to seated. And bring the right hand to the heart, the left over the right. So the beating of our heart, that rhythm, when we're in the flow, the rhythm of the heart, we're in the flow of humanity. We get stuck in our heads. We start to logically think through things. Sometimes that's not serving. We need both heart, mind, and mind, the head mind, the heart mind, and to interact and connect. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. May we be the catalyst for their well-being and our own. Hands to heart center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace here in our heart, peace here in our communities, and peace here in the world. Namaste. So glad you could join us on Facebook. And thank you for joining us